Please subscribe.
The 2020 Nissan Sentra SV comes stacked with most present-day comforts, yet warmed seats are a piece of the premium package, which may make us look somewhere else. The overhauled 2020 Nissan Sentra comes to advertise when less individuals are purchasing minimized cars and less automakers are making them. However, the 2020 Sentra is a significant passage-level vehicle for Nissan, as it has been since it was first propelled for 1982. In that range, it has become the top-of-the-line nameplate after some time for the Japanese brand, and the 2020 update develops from a fundamental spending vehicle to a reasonable worth purchase stacked with standard highlights and conditioned with some athletic muscle. It comes stacked with dynamic standard security includes, a 7.0-inch touchscreen, back seats that are spacious enough for two 6-footers, and costs a tick over $20,000 with goal, $20,015 to be accurate. It procures a 5.8 generally speaking TCC rating for worth, highlights, and a touch of game. The 8th-age Sentra rides on another stage and is lower, more extensive, and comes accessible with two-tone rooftop alternatives. The wheelbase is somewhat more, and another autonomous back suspension and all the more dominant powertrain consolidate with a lower focus of gravity to include more game and prefer dealing with over and past Sentras. The disentangled trim degrees of S, SV, and SR all accompany a level-bottomed controlling haggle air vents motivated by the GTR supercar. There's just one bundle alternative, Premium, in any event $2,170, accessible on SR and SV, which improves the sportier look with more slender and longer LED headlights, and up to 18-inch combination wheels. The bundle additionally packages warm seats and directing wheel, which would be better as independent alternatives. A 10% upcharge disintegrates the incentive. We would in any case prescribe the $21,195 SV trim, which, for $1,180 more, incorporates versatile journey control, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity, a bigger touchscreen, bigger wheels, and more pleasant seats. The 2020 Sentra is controlled by a 149-drive 2.0-liter inline-4 with a significantly better constantly factor programmed transmission, CVT. The front drive car rides lower to the ground and has an autonomous back suspension that can absorb street blemishes while cruising, yet give progressively responsive low speed taking care of. The electric power directing unit gives more criticism the more you turn, giving it a strongly sportier feel when you need it. For 2020, the updated Sentra smaller car rides on another stage not yet imparted to some other Nissan vehicles. In two-tone monarch orange metallic with a super black rooftop, it looks progressively like a little Maxima, adds note, a Minima. It is about 2 inches lower and 2 inches more extensive, with a marginally longer wheelbase so it looks increasingly athletic. We give it a 6 for style. The energetic goals under the sheet metal are additionally reflected in the sheet metal. The upgraded Sentra wears a more streaming style than the precise one of its antecedent. The hood plunges further down, and the face extends on a level plane, with profoundly recessed accessible mist lights in the lower grille. Long limited headlights, which can be moved up to considerably more, smaller LED lights, fold around the front wheel curves. The two-tone dark rooftop choice has a thinning impact, which is the reason we love dark on our bodies as much as our vehicles. The lines running over the hood and down the sides give it a smoother wedge-like look. The lower roofline takes care of pleasantly at the back, which used to be blockish. Inside, the style comes to far past the spending vehicle past. Accessible sewed cowhide on container seats supplements a dark and tan inside loaded up with delicate touch surfaces. The dark on dark alternative makes the plastic chrome pieces look like something more upscale than plastic. The level showcase of controls and vents coordinates the lower, more extensive extents of the outside. It comes in 3 rearranged trim levels. The top SR trim accompanies 18-inch composite wheels, back spoiler, dark side mirrors with incorporated blinkers, and other dark and chrome components. Mid-grade SV models get 16-inch aluminum amalgam wheels, while base S models get 16-inch steel wheels. There is no SER model. Not yet, at any rate. With another stage and new motor, anything could occur. In structure and in work, the Sentra tries to have preferable taking care of over it did in its more spending plan disapproved past. The lower focal point of gravity, punchier powertrain, autonomous back suspension, and responsive electric power guiding acquire a 5 out of 10 on our scale. The 149-drive 2.0-liter inline-4 with a constantly factor-programmed transmission, CVT, produces 146 pound-feet of torque, which speak to particular upgrades of 20% and 17% over the active model. Efficiency improves from 32 miles per gallon joined to 33 miles per gallon consolidated in S and SV trims. It's neither snappy nor quick, however the slack from a stop could be confused with a turbomotor. It's most certainly not. Pummel the throttle and the CVT investigates its shoulder for a second, as though inquiring as to whether you're certain. It'll hurry to about 6,000 revolutions per minute when pounded, before the CVT finds a legitimate mid-go RPM. Over 3,000 revolutions per minute, the Sentra is punchy enough to execute any sensible passing move. Nissan has been utilizing CVTs for some time, and in the event that you've driven one, you most likely have an assessment of the CVT. Abandon that. On something besides max speed, the CVT in the 2020 Sentra approximates move focuses practically where you'd anticipate it with a programmed. It doesn't fire up excessively high or automaton excessively long. Mostly down on the throttle, and the CVT will change gears somewhere in the range of 4,000 and 5,000 revolutions per minute. A lighter touch makes it practically difficult to see the CVT by any means, which is dazzling. The Lodge is moderately peaceful, with motor clamor possibly present when pushed. Hard braking on a downslope caused some skidders where the front swaggers had more than they could deal with, however in most typical driving the Sentra was delicate and formed. By and large, the suspension is tuned more for comfort than cornering. Increasingly striking is the electric power controlling. There is haul from the wheel on turning streets, and not simply from the Sentra's stout level-bottomed controlling wheel that is normally found on sportier autos. The double pinion rack-mounted electric power directing gives more opposition the more you turn, so cruising is delicate and simple, while increasingly vivacious driving in ravine streets has more noteworthy input. Join this with an autonomous back suspension and the Sentra is never again only something to get you somewhere. It's no track vehicle, however the lower focus of gravity, autonomous back suspension, and punchier powertrain lets you push the front-wheel drive minimal more than anticipated. Indeed, even base S trims get a level-bottom directing wheel, and the 3 roundabout air vents in the middle stack take care of obligations to the Nissan GT-R. A 4.2-inch vehicle data show is standard, similar to a 7.0-inch touchscreen and a USB port. It doesn't look or feel like the spending vehicle air of the past. We give it a 6 out of 10. Fabric-secured front base and seats with 6-way manual modifications are standard, while 6-way power and 2-way control lumbar seats are a piece of the premium package. The driver's seat is comfortable, with great thigh and side help. Outward vision is extraordinary because of the high windshield, however the brought-down roofline squeezes back and side perceivability. Sewn calfskin seats are accessible with the premium package, as are warm seats and a warm directing wheel. Nissan truly needs you to settle on the premium package, which can either be $2,460 in the SV or $2,170 in the SR trim. The back seat was spacious enough for my 6'3" traveler to sit behind me in comfort. There's a lot of toe room under the front seats, which is a major improvement, and a USB port for back travelers. The storage compartment is wide and profound, giving 14.3 cubic feet, which is bigger than the Mazda 3 and Volkswagen Jetta cars, however littler than the Honda Civic vehicle. The overhauled 2020 Nissan Sentra hasn't been crash-tried by the NHTSA or the FS, however the active model did well on crash testing. That point of reference, alongside a suite of standard dynamic well-being highlights called Nissan Safety Shield 360, look good for a future score. For the time being, we'll hold off on relegating a rating until legitimate accident testing is finished. The 2020 Nissan Sentra comes stacked with 6 standard dynamic well-being highlights, including programmed crisis braking front and back, vulnerable side screens and path flight admonitions, back cross-traffic cautions, high bar help, and a driver sharpness cautioning. Toyota, Hyundai, Honda, and Mazda offer comparable standard hardware on their smaller vehicles and hatchbacks. The Sentra has great outward vision on account of its large windshield and limited A-column. The lively twists outwardly and in the engine of the upgraded 2020 Sentra persist to within, which is offered in 3 rearranged trim levels. Indeed, even base S trims get a level-bottomed controlling wheel, and the 3 round air vents in the inside stack take care of obligations to the Nissan GT-R. A 4.2-inch vehicle data show is standard, similar to a 7.0-inch touchscreen, Bluetooth, a USB port, journey control, remote keyless section, push-button start, and power windows and locks. For the more pleasant comforts, you'll need to step up to the $21,195 SV trim, however at $1,180 more than the base model, it isn't quite a bit of a stage. The Sentra SV accompanies 3 USB ports, including one USB-C, a 8.0-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity, versatile journey control, updated material seats, and a 7.0-inch computerized vehicle data show. It's unmistakable and simple to use with guiding wheel controls to flip through excursion meters or revolving sound, so you don't have to object with the touchscreen. The SR redesigns are for the most part corrective, with 18-inch composite wheels, LED headlights, mist lights, and DRLs, back spoiler, and game material dark inside with